you are a community club. DCFC is a community-built club. And it will always
team is pitching a plan to revitalize a historic gem in our community, and it's a project that's driven by their passion for their sport.
State of disrepair right now. Concrete sort of crumbling a little bit. The bleachers.
Football club. We're at Keyworth Stadium. This stadium was built in 1936. Simply put,
it's amazing to see just how far they have come. Years ago, they were playing over at Gas Tech, and now so many people.
45 minutes, except we scored the goal to really settle in. The post and Stephon St. Louis is there to clear it.
Yeah, in the background, you know, they give us the 12th man. You know, it's awesome.
Fans to watch. We're happy to put on a show for all these guys that came out to see us play.
When we move, they move, and just communication is the biggest part.
It was great. I think we could have earned a shutout earlier against Sparta in the year.
Awesome. You know, the atmosphere is amazing.
Monday with the right foot. It's in the back of the
People know us now. People know what to expect. Now we gotta take it to another level.
Look, city till I die. Say hi to the bad fella. Hella smooth with the flow, so grab your umbrella. Yeah, we make it rain. Bring the pain. Things are changing. Power rankings take a spanking. Got them rearranging. They said Denis are all stars till we deboed all y'all. Ball of fist and brawl y'all. Yeah, we pissed off all y'all. And we thin, but still winning. Grinning at the top. Got up under head spinning. Make that chin pop. Blue collar clocking in. They been mocking us for days till they step into the key and they been leaving with a fade. Doubting us, but then they swayed. Say we pout, they throwing shade. You will never have what we have, time to get the blade. Cause we'll be cutting them up. Yeah, we're shutting them up. We ain't bluffing, tell you something, better knuckle up. Y'all ain't nothing but chumps, we put in overtime. We'll be putting in work until it's closing time. City till I die. Talking blood, sweat, and tears. City till I die. We've been building this for years. City till I die. This don't happen in a moment. City till I die. Sometime we
You're in the dark, man. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, you're kind of still in the dark.
I decided to go bring the laptop out because I feel like I did the chat. I did the phone lately. I've been doing the phone for Try Tested True Recording. And I realized that I can't see the chat.
Oh.
So for that, that's kind of like why I was disappearing those couple times.
That's
so
right.
Look at the chat, but there's like, oh, you're turned off.
All those little nuggets of wisdom we get in the chat.
First time we used the chat in a long time.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Post. One ahead of tomorrow, because at the time of recording this, it is 9 p.m. Monday, the 4th of November, Election Day Eve here.
Yeah.
And what felt like on Saturday?
You know. Oh, hey, there's Jaime.
Hey,
Jaime.
What's up?
What up?
He's dialed in. He looks like he's trying something. He looks like he's testing something out. He looks confused. Maybe all of the above. We were just talking about how are we all feeling ahead of... Oh, he's on mute. He's testing something. Either that or he got some work stuff. One of the two. He looks like he's seen some shit. Yeah, he's seen some shit. You're on mute, bud.
My audio wasn't working initially.
Okay.
What are you more...
Can you hear me?
Can you speak up a little bit?
What? We were talking about what are we feeling like worse from that wake we left on Saturday at Keyworth, or what tomorrow could be like?
I'm still processing Saturday, and I'm still bracing myself for tomorrow. I'm like in this weird in between.
Yes and yes.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, I thought that, you know, it is what it is, but yeah, it's just I'm finding it hard to kind of like close the door on that.
Oh, you're talking about Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, as I'm connecting my mouse here. I don't want to say I wasn't expecting, because I felt pretty confident about us coming in, the run we've been having, the form we've been having ahead of the game, ahead of the match, and just to kind of have it end the way that I didn't think it was going to end in the format and everything. I think it was a lot. I think the match and I think everything was it's a lot to process, but it's also a beautiful thing when we can gather together, because I think that allows us to take it all in and kind of okay, how are we all feeling? So let's go back to kickoff. Matt City announced. Lineup comes out. Nate Steinwasser in goal.
Who predicted that?
You were halfway right on your prediction. I was wondering if you were going to be fully right on your prediction.
What was the other half? Oh, the score?
No, Nate and Carlos both playing.
Oh, no, that was more of a joke, I think. I really did think Nate was going to play.
Are you drinking right out the bottle?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, yes. You are ready.
Hey.
What was I gonna say? Nate in goal. Elijah, and we might have talked about this before. If we haven't, then we were in there. Learned in September that Elijah was dealing with a sports hernia at the time, and played through it consistently to the point where it became a moot point. Unfortunately, as learned post-match Saturday, it flared up again, to the point that not only was Elijah not in the starting lineup, he was not even on the subs bench. In place of Elijah is Laurent Castillejo, well-deserved. Ryan Williams in the starting lineup in place of James Murphy. Ben and Connor looks like an outright 3-5-2. Occasionally, that 3 becomes a forward to back. First 15, we were looking good. Felt like we were really playing well, being the more controlling side. Concede a corner, and then we talked about shut Arteaga down, shut Jennings down, but Jennings, how gut punching do you guys feel like that moment was in that against the run of play like that?
It didn't really bother me that much, because I kind of felt like we were going to see both sides score in this game, and it was all about the response. So I think at the time, I was not happy about it, but it was not a super deal breaker. But it didn't make things easier, But the fact is that the game wasn't going to end 0-0. That just wasn't going to happen.
What about you, Jaime?
No, I mean, I think Alan's right. I did. It felt unjust. I think that was maybe the first shot they even had on target, and all of a sudden we're down 1-0. And we were playing really well in those first 15-20 minutes. So it did feel a little bit unjust for us to go down, but
Dennis has joined in, and I know you were down with me the media tent when the first goal happened against the run of play. Kind of quick, kind of swift. Your take on it?
Coming in hot. I didn't think it was that against the run of play. I didn't think we had it. I know we had a lot of the ball, but we had a lot of the ball for the whole game. So I didn't see it as totally against the run of play. It's from a corner, which, we had issues with set pieces early in the season, and they came back to bite us in that moment.
And then, Adam, you've just popped in. How are you? Your take on that first 15, and then Jennings taking the lead.
The first 15, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, generally speaking, I didn't think we played great. Um, I mean, I think, ironically enough, I think the first 15 may have been our best 15 of the entire match. Um, as things kind of went on, especially in that second half, despite, the own goal for Tampa, it seemed like they were kind of pressing a little bit more because what they ultimately did is they kind of stacked the box a little bit, and then they were kind of getting some chances, it seemed like, off the counter. But I mean, it's something that it's something that you can do to teams that don't have a lot of um much of a if the teams that aren't much of a threat offensively. Tampa was able to counter that, and we're able to get that goal. We able to, and get things into extra time, and ultimately the the penalties. But generally speaking, I don't think things were great in that game. Heading into Saturday night, Detroit was the better team, and you know, they didn't play like it. So
How much of that do y'all think Elijah not being in the lineup had to do with it?
I don't know that. I don't know that I would have made too much of a difference.
I agree.
I think what Adam is kind of alluding to there is I know our friend John Marcy likes to talk about the low block, but like it's what teams do to teams like not necessarily teams that don't have a lot going on offensively, because a lot of teams will do it, and I hate talking about other leagues when we do this show, but like it's what teams do to like Arsenal a lot. Like lower teams will do, they'll just stuff them up so they can't use their outlets to use their offense. And if you don't have a plan B for that, there's not really a lot you're going to do. And that's, I think, what we saw on Saturday. We saw that we didn't have a plan B when
the problem is with that too, Dennis, is there really isn't an outlet for a plan B.
Yeah,
with
that's
this
what.
team.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like if a team can stuff Maxi up and keep Ben quiet, like it can keep Ben not on the ball a ton, we don't have a whole lot else going on, and I don't think Lai coming in would have made a difference. Honestly, having Ryan in there instead of like sort of Ryan had two of our better chances, so like Ryan made what's his name, Jordan Farr work in that last minute of extra time. Like honestly, there's probably 20 something keepers in the league who wouldn't have saved that free kick, and Jordan Farr is one of maybe two or three that can. Like he's a good keeper, and he had the fucking game of his life the other night. So,
and that's what's shitty about it too, is Ryan Williams shouldn't be the one that is making Jordan Farr work.
Yeah.
Well, the other big. I mean, Devin had a good header. That was like one of the other big chances. But it's not like not falling to the attacking players that you kind of.
What we've seen from City this season, and in the last few weeks especially, like you're right, like Ryan shouldn't be the one that is falling to. Like there should have been. We should be able to generate chances for Reese and Connor and Ben and Elvis when he's on there. Like it shouldn't be falling to someone who's kind of in there in the pivot, like who technically is meant to be playing a little further back than having the best rip at goal.
The thing is, Tampa Bay knew what to do.
That's where I was coming from. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's not surprising that our more productive guys didn't see as much opportunity because Tampa Bay was shutting them down. So it's not totally surprising that a guy like Ryan Williams, who during the season has taken some chances and got some big goals, that we would see a little bit more out of him because the other guys kind of shut down. So, I mean, that's a concern, you know. Yeah, I mean, how much can you plan for that? But the fact is, yeah, uh, we're pretty predictable in what we're doing. I didn't have a lot of problems with Kisadu starting. I thought that was, you know, made some sense.
Yeah.
You know, given his kind of like increasing appearances during the end of the season. Uh, but yeah, we don't really have that flexibility. You know, once you've taken Maxi out of the game, that's a huge hit. And I think you could see that by the fact that, you know, our subs came very late.
Yeah, like we went.
So there wasn't really a way to reset the team like probably it really needed to be. But like, who are you going to bring in?
Yeah,
He's got chippy too. Like,
oh yeah, it was an ugly game.
You started getting some guys on cards and everything like that, and you know, obviously we know what that could do. You know, as the game progresses, you know, you don't you play more carefully. It's you're more cautious in your approach. So, yeah.
The equalizer. It's interesting that Nick Moon for Tampa Bay in the first fixture at Keyworth in July, he had the equalizer to make it 1-1 for Tampa. And then he's the one with the own goal that makes it 1-1 from the lead.
He's got a knack for scoring at Keyworth.
Yeah. So we get to penalties.
We should have had Nick Moon on our side taking the penalties.
Oh boy. Get the penalties. Tampa shoots first. Nate saves it. Maxi steps up. Never missed a penalty for Detroit City. Went the same way he always does, I think. And it was a great well hit penalty by Maxi. Just bar fucking read it. Nate saves the second one. James Murphy tries to go middle, and Jordan Farr doesn't even move. Tampa makes theirs. Ben scores. Tampa scores. Elvis crossbar. Tampa.
Did Jordan Farr have like notes on his water bottle like Jordan
was
Pickford
waiting for Nate to boot it into the luxury boxes there.
Oh, there you go.
Nate's too nice of a guy to do any of that monkeying around.
Who's leading? Who wants to talk? Their take on it.
on shootout?
Yeah.
You can't
No
lose a
excuses.
fucking shootout that your goalkeeper saves the first two penalties on.
Can someone do the Alexei Lalas impression where he goes, "It's not about luck, it's about skill." And anyone familiar with that rant?
I try.
If we're talking about penalties at Keyworth, you're already in bad shape. So, you know, we don't ever want to be in that position.
If you're
You
the
know,
home team
we've
at
had some
Keyworth,
luck
some
with penalties elsewhere, but at Keyworth, nah, not so
And
much.
that's the whole point too, Alan. It's Nate goes out there and he saves the first two for you. He saves the first two for you, and then Maxi and James both blow it. They blow it. Ben buries it, and then that's it. And that's it. It's
yeah. I mean,
it's
Nate gave us
inexcusable,
an
really.
opening,
I
and we
mean,
didn't take it. So
yeah, it's inexcusable, and
it's wild that you can make 11 penalties in a row in the shootout in Houston, and then make only one of four.
Yeah.
Last on Saturday.
And Morris was the only one that missed against Houston in the Open Cup. He's the only one to make it at home in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Strange game.
I'm still pissed off about it. The more we talk about it, the more pissed off I'm getting again about it. It's players were, and I hate saying this. I hate saying it. Players are upset afterwards, and quite frankly, they should be upset about it
Yeah.
because they blew the game. Nate gave it their all or his all, and they fucked it. They fucked it up for him.
Yeah.
And there's no excuses for that, especially in soccer with the advantage that the shooter has. I mean, this isn't the NHL. This isn't an NHL shootout where that the odds or whatever are more even. I mean, it's just like I said. There's no excuses, and there's really no. And for me, there's no there's no other way to put it. So.
Was the supporters lighting black smoke a sign of mourning or just not a good time to light smoke post-match?
Not a good time to light smoke. Why are you... Okay. Get me going, Gary. Light smoke in the 90th. If you're going to do it, light smoke in the 90th or the 85th or whatever. I always thought lighting smoke after a game that you draw or you lose. What the fuck? Like, what are you doing? It's dumb. It's also against the rules. It's also against USL rules, which is the biggest thing.
Following the rules is a very important.
Listen to the rule follower now.
We gotta follow the rules.
I think the black smoke was just what they had left.
Yeah, I think that's what it was too.
It wasn't a sign of fucking anything.
Season's over.
It is dumb to let off smoke at the end of a game that you've lost because then people can ask questions. Oh, is that the supporters in mourning? Like, not aimed at you, Garrett, but like that's like people shouldn't be able to ask that question. Like, oh, is this a sign of something? Like, no, it's just people wanting to fucking shoot their load at the end of the season. I'm like,
they didn't want to carry it back the car.
Yeah, it's it doesn't hurt that he lasts a couple days out. It's
I mean the crowd, it was one of the larger crowds that we've had at Keyworth. So
7183 announced attendance.
That's the official number, but it was pretty full.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we could have gotten many more people in there. So the crowd, I mean, it was not a great game for the crowd because it was a very chippy match, and I spent most of my time complaining about the ref, which, if it ever gets to that point where I'm complaining about the ref, I think it's a distraction. Let's put it that way. And
I'm going to ask you. I want your opinion on that from the stands because I was seeing a little bit more online post-match, not the usual during the game. And my thought about always that mostly is when people complain about the refs a day or two, it's like, yeah, they're going to say it's the worst called game at Keyworth until the next game that's at Keyworth. Den, you have your hand up?
Alan and I might have just seen a separate game. I thought it was chippy because the players were making it chippy, and I thought the ref handled it fine. Like there wasn't a million fucking bookings. We had 6 bookings. 3 of them were for dissent. Like, and that's our players losing their fucking heads.
Yep.
So what are you gonna do about that? Like, he has to book them for dissent. That's just, he has to. I thought there was a lot of fouls, but I thought he called a lot. I thought he let a lot more go, but I thought he let a lot go for both teams. Well,
I just felt at the moment that he was being inconsistent. So
I get that, and I get how it can feel like that during the game too. But I'm just saying all this for a more broad point is that I am fucking sick of looking at Discords and Facebook groups and week after week after week seeing supporters saying, this is the shittiest ref I've ever seen. This is the worst ref who's ever refed the game. This is MPSL level fucking officiating. I am begging you people, watch more soccer. Because every fucking fan base on the fucking planet says that about every ref that refs their games. And if you watch, I promise you, if you watch some games that your team are not involved in, you will start to understand the game more, and you will start to understand that not every ref is out to get you. Not every ref is the worst ref you've ever seen. They are one person in the middle of a field of 22 other people with 7,000 people screaming at them. And like, in that moment, all they can do is make the decision that they see in front of them. Because they don't have VAR, they don't have replays. They have two helpers who may or may not be 150 fucking yards away from what they're trying to look at. If they're in the diagonal corner away, they're doing what they can. Like there was Laurent got booked for kicking out at a player, and yes, the player was holding his leg for 5 seconds before that. We could see it because we were on pitch level and we were right behind where it was happening. But literally, I saw the ref turn around and look at Laurent as Laurent kicked the dude.
Yep.
So in that situation, the only thing the referee can do is book Laurent. That's all he can do. He can't, there's nowhere for him to go and check. Oh, what preceded this? What happened before it? And then in our Discord, you'll see 10 people. Oh, this is the worst ref I've ever seen. Like, please, I'm begging you, watch some more soccer. Any level, any team, any league, any country.
The fucked up thing too, and then I'll give it to you, Jaime, is I even know a couple people that are involved in soccer and so much that you're even saying that. I get that you are rooting hard for this club. I get that you are passionate and all that. Get your fucking passion, get your heart out of this and use your brains and have some fucking logic in this, as you're saying. If you know the game, take it as what it is, because guess what? And if you're all telling the ref he's the shittiest referee 5-10 fucking minutes in, guess what? It's going to get shittier. Keep your powder dry, folks. Seriously.
I'm not saying don't yell at the ref, just to be clear. Like, I yell at the ref. I'm just saying, like, if you're able to sit there and watch
do, Dennis.
If you're able to sit there and watch replays or whatever, I just need you to, like, be a goldfish. Like, just get over it. Like, see the foul, yell at the ref for a second, and then be like, okay, our boys need to step it up. Because the ref isn't gonna help.
And I know Dennis, Garrett and I disagree on this, because if you are a referee and you are getting triggered by a chant 10 minutes in, then you probably shouldn't be a referee.
Yeah, I don't think that's causing issues for us, honestly. I don't think refs are but the people who are in the Discord and the Facebook group probably do think that. They probably think that the refs are trying to get back at us as fans, and that's not the case. Like, fan is short for fanatic, right? You're going to be fanatical about your team. But, like, at some point, you've just got to realize that the refs aren't out to get you, and your boys need to win the game in front of them and forget about the referee.
I can't believe you called out Allen right on air like this, Dennis.
I know.
Yeah. Not decide this. So I don't want people to say this
season's over and we're at each other's throats already.
Jaime, what were you about to say on that?
No, I think to sum up Dennis's point is that it was the referee's fault that we lost. And I think if we asked our good friend BJ, good friend of the program, he would definitely agree that it was the referee's fault.
How much did that wine bottle?
I saw him wagging his finger a couple times. So.
How much did that wine bottle?
To me, that's a huge.
I thought I just saw him down the wine.
Did you doubt it yet?
Well, so I started making empanadas like 3 hours ago.
Oh shit!
Wow.
You're in it.
So the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons in like the sauce. So I've basically had
I feel like this is
2
like
tablespoons.
This is like the 4th time you've been making empanadas as we've done a podcast.
Some of our best episodes have been on empanada night.
One of our episodes is going to just be like a fake episode and an intervention for Jaime making
one of these days it's going to be a live cooking interactive cooking episode. So that would be
the highest. That would be our highest watched episode. I promise.
Yeah, we do that.
By far, like.
Fuck that. We got
without question.
We got this whole soccer bullshit. I mean, let's start doing
way
cooking.
less stressful.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts on the rest of the playoffs. I'm going to steal a line from Dennis, who I also got to give credit because last week he did haikus. This week he's providing definitions. Rest of the
It
league.
is fast.
Wrestling. Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm not. Listen here.
That's.
I will not watch another minute of this league this season.
No, I'm done. It's fucking.
I started watching a game. What was it? Like Sunday, and it was like, nah. 0.00 interest.
I didn't want to watch other soccer this weekend after that. Like,
oh yeah,
I didn't have any interest in it this
Well,
weekend.
you know what my next option for soccer watching is? Man United. Like, how am I gonna what the fuck am I gonna do? The League of Ireland just finished last week, and my bows have been chronic to watch anyway. I did enjoy. I will try out there. I did enjoy Jordan Doherty snapping back at the USL show on Twitter yesterday.
Really? Was it? I didn't see this.
He quote tweeted their because they all picked us to win last week, and he quote tweeted the tweet where they put out who their picks for the week were, with just a crying laughing emoji and a clown face, which I appreciate. His penalty nearly got saved, but it went in the end, so it counted, and I appreciate that he was letting them live rent free in his head for the week, and then remember to tweet back at them. So that's Expos legend Jordan Doherty. So if we brought him to Keyworth next season, I wouldn't be super upset. He seems like a nice chippy mid-20s, exactly what we need right now.
There you go, Trevor. There's your recommendation from 451.
He played well.
As you're planning next season right now.
The hat that you're wearing brings me up. There is a bright side that wasn't Detroit City. Adam and I have talked about this. One of the last times I felt like I was leaving awake at Keyworth after a men's match, last year being the Colorado Springs in the midday. The next day, the Lions won in Green Bay. 2 years in a row that's happened now. So...
That's all we have. That's all we have now.
Welcome.
Yesterday, the Pistons and Lions both won for the first time in the same day in over 1,000 days.
You could have said 1,000 years, and I wouldn't have been surprised.
1,000 years.
Pistons are about to win 2 in a row. What year is this?
City is the only professional
Never.
team in Detroit that did not win this weekend.
But that's fuck, man.
Wow.
So they had the support of the Red Wings and the Lions.
Jake Bates, man. Jaime wanted Penne, obviously, but Jake Bates.
I was like, come on, all you guys the kicker? Come on.
But the long snapper and the kicker.
You gotta get the people who know what they're talking about, right?
At least give it a check.
Where's Penne from?
American Samoa.
Oh, so if we were a rugby team, he'd be in the video.
Yeah, maybe.
Incoming.
It's like soccer. I don't know.
We could probably get him to.
Who watches that?
Get him to a game if we were a rugby team.
And club resumes their partnership with Detroit Rugby Football Club for the segregated penny school for promotion ads in 3, 2, 1. All right, so we've talked about this. So now let's ask the fun question. Before I ask the now what, regular season, last season to this season, 15-point increase. 8th place last year, 3rd place this year, hosting a home game. However, last year, won in the first round, gets smashed in the second round. Don't get out of the first round this year. Yes or no? You can answer as short as you want or provide explanation. Person's choice. Is this season better than last year? Done.
I mean, I think at the start of the season, we talked about hosting a home playoff game. And I don't recall whether we talked about winning a home playoff game or not, which, semantics. But obviously this would have been better if we won the home playoff, right? But to get to a home playoff, I'm against the playoff system in soccer anyway, right? So, for all intents and purposes, you could say we finished 4th in the league, right? If the league ended and was like a normal fucking league in a normal country, we would have been 4th in the league. because New Mexico on the other side were the only team with a better record than us.
That's a great way to look at it. I feel better
Right.
now because of the way you put that.
So, like, you know, we finished top 4 in the league.
He's here to help.
Yeah.
At the end of the regular season. The playoffs are just a fucking American way of, like, I don't know, picking the big bad winner, like the actual winner, even though you've played 34 games. We played every team in the league this year, right? And we came out 4th. So, like,
yeah, fuck that. Yeah, that's.
I like that Adam's getting this realization in real time. This is beautiful.
It's
and
not like
we-
I don't watch, you know, the shit in Europe and everything.
Yeah.
So
Well, we you know, we beat we beat the fucking Open Cup holders, right? In the Open Cup. So, like, I think honestly, yeah, this is the most points we've had in USL, most goals scored, like probably one of our lower totals too of goals conceded. So, like, I think, yeah, this is probably our best season since we've moved to the USL, honestly. Even though last year we got the win in Pittsburgh, but that was like a shock win, right? That's why it resonated so much. Like, nobody expected that. Like, we crept into the fucking 8th spot. We went there, we banged in 1 goal, and we shut up shop for
I think you'll find that I predicted a 4-0 win for Detroit in that game.
In the Pittsburgh game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Is that the start of your 4-0s?
I mean, I don't really remember. I'm guessing that I would have predicted that.
Blood circle.
But yeah, I think this is probably our most successful season. Like, we had a brand new manager this year. We had a lot of new players. We got new players during the season that played games. Like, I think looking at everything, really, we've moved up, and now next year we should be expecting that we're still in that top 4, and we should be expecting that we make a push at the playoffs. Because this year it felt like everything was kind of lining up for us to make a good playoff run, and, like, I think probably everybody in this call right now, at least, if not 7,000 other people, had at least one fleeting thought that we could win this whole thing this year.
Yep.
And I think they need to build on that and bring it into next year. And I assume we'll talk about some of that later on, what that might look like. But yeah, I think this was a good, successful year. I think you can't really look at this year and all the strides that we made and see it as anything but a really good year, even though it feels like fucking shit right now to be out of this thing. And one last thing I will say, Tampa have had a rough last month, right? Like, they've had shit thrown at them. Their stadium is in whatever condition. We haven't heard. I don't know if they know, like, truly how much damage was done or whatever. And teams like that can sometimes become like the fucking team of destiny, you know? Yep. Like the Saints back when this shit was happening to them, or like teams like this can go on those runs that people don't understand. And, like, honestly, if they went into Charleston this week and beat Ben and fucking and the Battery, even though I won't be watching because I don't care, that would be kind of cool. And if they, like, I would be pulling for them to do that and make it as far as they can.
Yeah. Shout out to RBL Riders crew, also anyone that's been dealing with Hurricane Milton stuff, and Helen, because that to have 1, let alone 2, is just, yeah. Alan, what about you, man?
Everything that Denis said. I mean, you got to look at the facts, and you can't let recency bias cloud your thoughts.
Right.
Yes, it was bad. We lost the playoff game that everybody thought we were going to win. But you have to look at the season as a whole. We had a tremendous start. The number 1, new coach. So, like, who knows what was going to happen?
Yeah.
We have a blistering start. We run into trouble during the summer, and they figured it out.
Yeah.
We ended strong, got a home playoff game. And, like, if you look at the performances in terms of, like, season-wide stats and stuff like that, I think you can't deny that this team was transformed from last year. last year was a drag.
Last year,
nothing worked, and we had some ups and downs this year. There's no doubt. It wasn't all like just to the moon, but it was loads better, and the prospect for it being even better next year is there. So at least for that aspect of it, we should feel really good and like pick up our heads.
Adam.
I agree with Dennis and Alan. And like I said, Dennis made me feel better by shitting on the whole playoff format, because it's stupid. It's stupid for soccer. It's just an Americanized, aspect, because American sports fans can't fathom the idea of ending a season without some stupid tournament at the end of the year, when everywhere else in the world, they, generally speaking, they don't go into some stupid playoff. And fucking MLS, they have this.
I love league cups. I love
league cups are fine.
Tournaments.
European
I'm not
playoffs
saying
are cool
not do it
in the regular season. Yeah,
don't let it determine you're a champion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Knockout tournaments are a measure of your form at the moment. Season table is your performance over the full season. I mean, it makes no sense to measure teams off of how they're doing at any particular moment and saying that's your best team.
Yeah, and it's other leagues in different sports, they do it, and it's whatever. That has been something they've been doing forever. That's, I mean, like I said, generally speaking, it's not how shit is done in soccer, but the United States is backwards in everything that they do when it comes to soccer. They will especially and look at MLS right now. They, for some reason, they're doing a best of 3. Have they ever done that before? I can't remember them ever doing that. It seems.
I think they started it last season.
Did they start last season? It just seems so fucking stupid.
And it wasn't well received then either.
Yeah, and but yeah, thank you, Dennis, for making me feel better.
You're welcome.
I still hate everybody that missed a penalty the other night, but
I mean,
yeah, I think it definitely feels like progress this year, in most senses. I think next year, I feel like next year is the year that we're gonna win it all, and we're gonna win all the playoff games that Adam hates, 4-0, and
Dennis too. Dennis hates them too.
Dennis hates them too. Alan hates them. Garrett.
You love them though. You love them.
I got a platonic relationship with the playoff games. I love them if we win them. I hate them if we lose them. And to be fair, we didn't lose. We tied, and we're eliminated via the penalty kick shootout.
No.
That's worse. That hurt.
That is true.
I hate that. They're saying that about Man City because they're on like actually after this weekend, no. But before that, they're like, they're on like a 60-something game unbeaten because the one game they got knocked out of Europe and it was penalties, and it's bullshit. If you lose on penalties, you lost the game. I don't care what the fuck you say.
I think you'll find that technically they didn't. Don't yell at me. I didn't make up the rule.
Oh boy.
But
are you playing? Hey, if you go out on penalties, are you playing another game?
But the game finishes tied after 120 minutes.
Yeah,
you
but
lose?
but if it finishes tied, that's not
Do
the end of the game.
do any of the do any of the
Penalties
do any of the goals in the penalty kick shootout count for like golden boot race?
Oh dear.
No, because it's after the match is already finished.
But
Drop
it
the
still
hammer on
decides who
that one.
wins. It still decides who wins the match.
It decides who advances in the next round of
Oh
playoffs.
my god!
That's exactly like the shit that Kevin Kerr was trying to pull when we beat Houston. It's like, well, they always say
Well, yeah.
how they have like 2 wins against MLS teams, and that's not true. You guys are tied against MLS teams because
See?
the match against Houston, you guys tied.
Did Devin Kerr really say
That's
that?
that's the
Yeah,
company
Devin
you're
Kerr
in,
did say
Jaime.
that.
All right, then
That's the company
I would
you're
like
in.
to officially rectify my position on this. And
there goes the poll that I was going to ask you to put on the Twitter or the.
I'll put a poll out. All right.
Put the poll up. Okay.
I wasn't finished though.
Go on.
No, I'm finished.
Wait a second. One other thing. If we're going by the by just the season, how that finished, since we beat New Mexico and then we won and drew against Charleston, and then we beat and lost one match against Lou City, does that mean we kind of finished tied for the top?
And we also won in Tampa too.
And we won in Tampa. So I'm gonna say this is like a 1997 shared national championship with Michigan. So
and you hate U of M too.
And I don't like U of M. So I'm just gonna say that we shared the championship with Lou City this year.
Due to tiebreakers, we're number one.
Yeah.
Regency bias, maybe, but who gives a fuck?
I don't make the rules either, so that's just. Jaime had something to finish before I interrupted him. Go ahead, though.
No, I was just joking.
We beat 10 teams in the Eastern Conference this season, except Pittsburgh and Hartford. We beat both.
Those don't count. Those don't count.
We beat both top seeds.
It's the Tab Ramos effect.
We won in Tampa Bay. We won in tough places. I think as a team we grew. We dealt with adversity. We didn't expect Ali Coote to go back to Ireland and win a title for Shelburne.
Win a title with Shelburne. They did not win it because of Ali.
I said win with.
They won because of the legend Damien Duff.
Anyway,
I love the heel turn that Ali Coote has done with Denis.
His one goal he scored for Shelbs was against Bohemians.
It was.
And I think when Alan, you talked about it in the previous Tunnel Talk or two, when we thought we might even fall out of the playoff race in general, this team went on the tear that they did, getting results in 14 of the last 15, and came into the playoffs unbeaten in the last 9. If anything, so I think that's definitely a massive improvement over last year, because last year was painful in so many levels. Alan and Jaime, I think about the fact that you all did that fucking bus trip to Indy. 3 days back 2 3-0 beatdowns 3 days apart from each other.
Rough.
And on my mother's birthday, losing 5-0 to Phoenix. Fucking assholes.
Alan's crazy. Alan's crazy for doing that.
Yeah. But
anymore. That was my last bus trip.
That was so this year was a massive increase in that, a confidence booster. I look at the players that made significant strides during the season compared to last year. Maxi getting his form to get the Black Arrow. Ben getting the Players Player of the Year with 10 goals. Connor in the late run of the season. Jaime shakes his head because Ben won Players Player of the Year award. All of these things in general. Yes, losing to Tampa sucked, and then losing in Pelham sucked. It's a gut punch, but if anything, it could be a motivating spark for next season. So, now we're in the off season. Getting ready. Probably officially know the beginning of people returning, not returning. End of November, beginning of December. I'm going to take a look at things that our buddy Sean Juice Grogan dropped in some of our chats. I think we're the one chat we're all in. And players that are confirmed coming back to Detroit City for 2025. Carlos Saldana, Reese Williams, Stephen Carroll, Devin Amumensa, Alex Villanueva, Dominic Gasso, who is back in Michigan in attendance at Keyworth on Saturday. Jessiel Cedeno, I believe, too. Although Cedeno may be under the option list for 25. Club option players, Ben Morris, James Murphy, Connor Rutz, Elvis Samo, Daniel Espeleta, Josiel Cedeno, Ryan Williams. Out of contract, Maxi Rodriguez, Michael Bryant, Elijah, Brett Levi, ZZ Matthews, Matt Sheldon. Expiring loans, Laurent Cassiedu, Victor Becerra, Abdi Salim. Under contract, but Nate Steinwasser, but we may know what that's going to actually become. So, how much change should we be prepared for this offseason?
A lot.
Lots.
Go on to the lead.
I mean,
it's the same as every year, though. Really, there's loads of turnover in USL.
Guys are going to go.
Yeah,
that's normal. That's normal.
If we could sign one guy, I would hope it would be Abdi Salim, because he's just come in and made a huge impact on the children. But maybe he'll stay, maybe he won't. We'll see.
Wow.
Stay tuned for more.
Is he even still here?
He was here on Saturday. He was at the game.
Oh, good for him.
They had everybody there.
Even
they had everybody there.
Yeah, everyone was there. Victor was there, looking very sullen in his street clothes.
His dad wasn't there though.
Yeah, I think there's probably going to be a decent amount of turnover, as Jaime says, as there is every year. But like last year, I don't think there wasn't like a massive amount. Like we still had 7 NISA All-Stars, starting that game.
I think the rumors that are floating around right now, even though if the rumors are in fact true, then the players who could be going are going to signify potentially a big change in how this team operates itself on the pitch.
Yeah,
I would agree.
And the rumors that Adam is referring to is Matt Sheldon, and it's just going to be hard not to have the live vlog and the podcast. It'll be a big change. It'll be a big change.
If Matt Sheldon does leave, then club needs to get him on working media shit.
Honestly, like Jaime's joking, but I think I think Matt is one of the people we should keep because he seems to be a good vibes guy around the team. And,
I wouldn't mind.
They should be looking at getting him into the.
He can stay and be Clayton's assistant. He can carry around all of Clayton's bags.
I think he would do a good job on the club side of things because there's still some lacking there, and he probably gets more views on one video than the club's had in the last 5 years. So
there's no question.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Most
it's do we want to say what the rumors are? Like, they're rumors.
Prominent players. Let's put it that way.
TMZ.
Prominent starters.
I
Potentially.
go back to when we were signing Stevie and Devin a few weeks ago, and I don't know why we didn't think of this at the time or didn't talk about it, but like there was one prominent name there that you would be expecting they would try and re-sign, and maybe we just thought he was still in contract, but as we've now gathered, he isn't. So yeah,
This is what I'm going to say regarding this. I've seen online discourse about it, and don't get attached to players, folks.
well, you can't just say that. That's not. People are human. Like, people are human, and this club is different than the other sports teams we have, because the other sports teams aren't walking over to us and dapping us up and hugging us after games and telling us, "Hey, thanks for the support." Right? Like, you
but
can't.
also be cognizant though of this is professional sports.
Yeah, no.
That's
This
why
isn't.
I'm going to get to that too, but you can't just say, "Hey, don't get attached to players." Like, people get attached to all kinds of players. People were attached to Jamal Williams when he was a Lion. Like, people get attached to players for different reasons. And yes, you're going to be sad that they leave.
Dennis was attached to Ellie Coot and he broke his heart.
Exactly. I'm still done in by it, But like, people get attached to players and they're gonna have their feelings about players leaving and players who are out the door. Like, you can't, and people are gonna get more attached to players that they see at their kids' training, that they see at their trunk or treat, like that they see at different things, who like they have an affinity for. Like, if you have FaceTime with people, regardless if they're fucking like famous or whatever, like we can debate the level of fame that these players are at, like, but like people are gonna get attached, kids are gonna get attached, families are gonna get attached, and like you can't just end that by saying, "Hey, don't get attached." Like, that's just how it is. People are gonna get attached, but you have to know that these players are playing for a livelihood,
right?
And if they're gonna get more of that livelihood somewhere else, they are gonna leave.
And there's a lot of other issues. I mean, you see that in the top leagues. You see players who like voluntarily leave the biggest and best teams in the world, like Manchester City, to go play in Spain, for whatever reason. So players are going to do what they need to do. Club is going to do what they need to do. I think where people get a little bent out of shape is when there's kind of a mismatch of what players want and what the club wants.
Yeah.
And how that's navigated. It's usually, if a player wants to go, they go. And if a club wants to keep somebody, they tend to stay.
Right.
But when there's a bit of a conflict, that's something we don't have a lot of experience with. And I mean, we've experienced it. We have had experience with that, where sometimes players don't leave on the best terms. But I think moving forward, as the numbers get bigger in terms of compensation, it's going to become a bigger deal.
I think a lot of things that we have not seen before. Like, well, there's been a lot of people, I think, that have stayed for a significantly long period of time with us, even in this USL run, right? But like, you guys, it is a business, and two, as this club is looking to take the next steps in the US, go into USL, hopefully win USL championship, be a top contender in the East, sometimes hard decisions need to be made. And, we're Detroit sports fans also, and there we have seen other teams throughout the years when they've grown. Adam, I think you and I were talking about this last night. we've seen people that people we weren't expecting to leave, and it's stung at the time, but it turned out to be, you reap the benefits eventually. We don't. I mean, that's the thing. There's still a few weeks or so till off season. There's still a few weeks till first roster news. And I think I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if we heard of our first new signings in January. I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of like the rest of USL Championship and we start hearing some of these new signings before the year ends. So I think that's my point of and I agree with you, Den, to that point, that maybe not being that broad of don't get too attached, but at the end of the day, it's while they're here, appreciate them for the people that they are, and especially those that take the time and the effort in that. But at the end of the day, also too, it is a business, and if people have an opportunity to make their lives or make their families' lives better, they got to take it. And that may mean not staying here. So that's kind of where I'm feeling on that. So now what we ask, we got a little bit of time off before women's indoor. Rough schedule. Looks like the first home matches. The season starts in December, roughly, looks like, according to the MASL schedule website, which
January.
Yep, January 4th is looking on the website as the first home match. See if that changes at all. There's already been a couple of changes on that website. What else, gents, especially our deep in the web supporter friends, anything in the meantime to delve in? Look at
I don't know, man. Sports makes me sad. So thank God for the Lions,
Yeah.
Never thought we'd be
That's
saying
probably
that.
the first time you've said that ever.
7-1 Detroit Lions. The Detroit Pistons won 2 games in a row.
You can't get out here with this Pistons bullshit.
Dude, I feel like my childhood.
No one should be dependent on the Pistons for happiness.
Hey, Dennis,
They're gonna let you down.
I heard that there's a Lions bar in Dublin.
I just where did I just see that?
I don't know.
A Detroit Lions
bar.
gridiron football themed bar in Dublin.
I don't know if it's a themed bar.
Yeah.
Someone just sent me that on Instagram like 20 minutes ago.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, so
I've never been there. I did not realize this. So,
well, we have to go.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
451 field trip
to Ireland,
to Dublin to check out the fucking bar.
When you go back in?
Next time I go is in May, so.
How far?
Okay.
Where's your hometown in Ireland? It's not.
Well, this bar is in Dublin. I'm from Dublin.
Oh, you're from Dublin. Okay.
Yeah. The Portobello. I think I've been to this bar, but it definitely was not a Lions bar.
Well, it is now.
Yeah.
When
you walk in there, it'll be a Lions bar.
Gridiron.
Walk in there with your Penesul shirt on.
I want a live recording of their version of Gridiron Heroes.
That's crazy because I don't think there's other team bars in there's like one bar I go to watch football because they show all the games. Like they'll have different TVs for every game and you can kind of book a table at the game that you want to watch. But I've never heard of like a team specific. That's a lie. There's one down the country that's random. It's like the fucking Falcons or something. Like it's some random team that like there's no reason. Well, I guess the Lions there's no reason for in Ireland either.
I've seen bars like that in New York, and it's weird. It's like you go into this bar in Manhattan. It's like all Detroit stuff. I'm like,
there's a Lions bar here. I was there for the Cowboys game, which was, great vibes until Hutch, but like it was great vibes overall. But same, like it's a friend of mine he's a Bengals fan, and when I told him I was going to this Lions bar, he's like, I want to go because I want to see if it's the exact same as the Bengals bar, but like blue. Because I guess the teams send out like kind of like sales reps to go to bars and be like, hey, you want to be a
it's
Lions
NFL
bar?
shit.
And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put like blue lights up here.
Oh
You're
my
gonna get a
God.
DJ in on Sundays. They're gonna
That's
play
gross.
down the field. So like I have knowledge of this because Guinness do the same thing for Irish bars. They'll send out people to like
Well, that makes more sense.
Kind of guide you how to make your bar more Irish. Well, some of the Irish bars I've been to in this country, I wonder.
Well,
I wonder
yeah, I know.
what the sales reps are up to. But yeah, you saying that about bars in New York is very recognizable because when I walked into this fucking Lions bar in Chicago, I was like, interesting, very interesting. And yeah, they're playing Gridiron Heroes after every fucking touchdown, and there's a DJ playing Eminem and fucking Kid Rock.
Wolf. Closing thoughts, gents.
Earlier, I said I hated the players that missed the penalties.
You want to take it back?
I don't hate Maxie and James.
I
love Maxie and James. I'm just upset, you guys. That's it.
Just a little bit.
I didn't mean it.
A little bit of behind the scenes how the sausage is made. I had to while we were doing our post game recap on the field. I had to like hold Adam back from confronting Maxie there and then.
Oh.
He was just trying to like talk to his girlfriend. Like,
why did you do that?
And then he tried to make me go over with my phone and ask him like, why'd you miss the penalty, bro?
Stick a mic in his face. Why do you suck?
No, I didn't.
I won't say I hate James, but bro, you can't hit a penalty like that in a shootout. If you're going down the middle, you gotta ladder the thing. Like you gotta break the net. You can't. It wasn't even like a dink either. It wasn't even like a Panenka. It was just a soft fucking penalty.
I think the players are probably more mad than we are.
Well, whatever.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Jaime, how you done with your wine yet?
Yeah.
Jaime's trying to not show us that he reloaded, I think, because he went off screen there for like 10 minutes at one point.
Jaime's transferred to Pisco.
I just had to.
I mean, he's getting ready to.
That's a good
I'm
mix.
getting warmed up for tomorrow night.
What's tomorrow night?
Oh.
That
thing that we do once in a while.
I've had so much wine that I already forgot what tomorrow night is.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the plan. He's gonna, drink so much wine.
My employer's given us the day off, even though I voted 3 weeks ago. So I'm gonna get to sit around my house thinking about the election all day long.
Just go day.
And watching Champions League.
Yeah, just go for brunch. Go watch some soccer.
Yeah.
Black out by fucking 7 or 8. You'll be fine.
That's probably a good plan, actually.
You haven't voted yet, folks. Go vote.
Well, you got it tomorrow. It's the last time.
Yeah. Don't be an idiot. Go vote.
It won't count on Wednesday.
I voted last week.
Well, I don't know. In Chicago, they do things differently.
This was the first presidential election I got to vote in, and it was a doozy.
Oh, yeah.
They have this weird thing in Chicago where every judge on the circuit court, which is like 80 judges, you get to vote whether you retain or get rid of them. So you have to go through 80 fucking judges, just go and retain, dismiss.
How long is that?
It's very.
Did you dismiss all of them?
I dismissed 5 of them because I went and found a website that told me which associations recommended them for dismissal or not, and only 5 of them. 4 of them were mixed, So they had like 4 or 5 associations that were like, they're fine. And then 3 or 4 that were like, no, we got to get rid of them. So I erred with the LGBTQ association. And then the only single judge in the whole thing that had a no, like, should be dismissed. He had like 7 associations said no, get rid of him. The other 3 had no comment. His name is Shannon O'Malley. So, right, very Irish, right? But turns out this dude changed his name by deed poll in like 2012 because he ran for a judgeship before that with his original name, which was like Peters Vitek or something. And he ran as a Republican and didn't get it. So then he changed his name to Shannon O'Malley and switched to Democrat.
That's very tricky.
Wow. So he could get voted in a few years later. Like, he still didn't.
Well, that's
run
showing
till,
a
like,
lot of initiative. That should be rewarded.
Yeah.
I'm not. Listen, I am not having my culture cosplayed. So this tool can go in the court and start fucking screwing people over.
Hey, I'll tell you what. My first time I voted for president was in 1984.
Jesus.
And I voted for a dude named Walter Mondale. You know how many states he won in that election?
0.
1. He won his own state. He got beat in every other state by Ronald Reagan.
I have heard of him.
The worst blowout in American history.
I just saw a graphic about that today.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! So I got off on the right foot. So.
Well, you know the season has just finished when we're talking about the fucking election.
Presidential electoral history.
As it fits.
Oh my God!
Better than.
Please, I can't wait for the women's games to start. It's just 2 more months.
Shout out to our buddy Red. I know you're going through a bit right now. Serious note on there, so thinking of you, bud. Also, Rod, we miss you. Congrats to Roddy, retirement. They have already mentioned it, but still, someone who had a big prominent impact during the city days. So happy for that. It's off season time, folks. So until next time, be good to each other. Take care of each other. Forward down all the field.
You see our flag fly, chin check, cash check. We came to sweep the leg. With all disrespect, LaRouche will bruise your head. 2012, the scene pop. We came to clean clocks. Your team is dream drop. We gave some mean knocks, stomping on the count. Yeah, we chomping on the bit. Many came and went, but they ain't stopping none of it. Community built, community owned. Roasting foes coast to coast. Leave your hope postponed. Spirit of Detroit. Lemons the lemonade. Yemen and Bangladesh make a stronger braid. City in the city, within the city, with deep. Witty with the banter, cause I can't concrete. Now come and get it if you with it. We committed to go. Detroit versus everybody, you already know. Locked and loaded, always ready to bust. Pop and smoke, leave these jokers in dust. City of black, excellence is a must. To leave these crusty little clowns in a ring of rust. From southwest to Brightmore, 5 points. Then be ain't no friendly, we leave our enemies empty.